Basically, with playlists on Pro Tools, you can go in and record as many different takes as you want to. And what you would do, let me show you. If I wanted to go with this take right here, I would basically just cut that right here, punch this arrow, and bam. Now on my main track right here, I have my new take that has replaced the previous take. Hello and welcome to today's video, where today we're going to continue our journey on Music Production 101. Today we are going to discuss part 5, which is recording your final lead vocal. So this is the process where you're going to fine-tune your final lead vocal. You want your very best performance here. You're going to edit the fire out of it just to make sure everything is where it needs to be, that it is the best performance of your lead vocal that you have possible. That is what we're doing today. We're going to discuss it. Come on, let's dive into it. Alright guys, so just a few tips when you're recording your final lead vocal. So today you'll notice that I'm using this particular apparatus. This is a Chaotica eyeball. I've been using this the last few years. Now I also use an actual sound booth. It cost me about $200, and the sound booth in my office really does help to lower sound reflections, and everything sounds a lot better, sounds a lot cleaner, and it helps to mitigate any unwanted noise. But if you don't have that, I would say that having something like a Chaotica eyeball is a must. Basically, the microphone is in here, and basically this sphere, it's a styrofoam ball that basically helps to block unwanted sound frequencies and reverbs. For example, right now I'm in this hallway, and if I did not have this Chaotica eyeball blocking some of these bad reverberations, it would sound horrible and boxy, and it would not be manageable probably for recording a professional vocal. So I recommend the Chaotica eyeball as a must-have, and if you can, get a vocal booth. Those cost about $200, and that will take your vocal recording to another level, making everything clean and dry with no unwanted reverberation. Also, you're going to want a windscreen here. This will protect you when you're singing. It'll protect your mic from picking up what is called plosives, words with a P or S. It will stop unwanted sibilants. When you sing words that have a big S sound on them, or you're singing the word push or prepare or whatever you're singing, if it's with a P, that plosive can cause you to spit into the microphone, and it can cause this unwanted big pops and noises. So the Chaotica eyeball has a windscreen, and you'll also want another windscreen right here. Okay, so when recording your final lead vocal, another thing that you're going to want to do, you're going to want to make sure that you do vocal warm-ups. You can go on YouTube, go online, and find a lot of vocal techniques that you can do for warm-up. You know, the techniques, they're like la, 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 la. There's a lot of those out there online. You can find those. It is good to warm up your voice at least 15 to 20 minutes before you sing, before you record. And yeah, do that. Warm up your voice, get your voice stretched and ready to go so that you will have the maximum output from your voice. Okay, a few other basic techniques to do when recording your final lead vocal. If you're going for more of an intimate sound, a good technique to do is to get as close up to the microphone as possible. And you can even bring the windscreen a little closer if you wanted to. Get right up on the microphone, and when you do this, it'll give the sense of intimacy and that you're up close, and it will really bring a certain vibe to your sound if you're wanting to go for that. Now, if you're wanting to be powerful and dynamic, if you're wanting to really bring the energy and the passion, then I recommend, especially like on choruses or a bridge where things are building, I recommend bringing this back and even stepping back further away from the microphone and doing it that way. And that way you're singing further back, and you can project, be louder, maybe even scream, I don't know, but you can really be passionate, really almost belt and yell out your lines, for example, in the chorus or whatever you're doing. And it will give that sense of passion and intensity, and it will seem like that because you're off the mic. So those are just a few basic techniques that I would recommend implementing when you are recording your final lead vocal. Hey, today I want to send you a free resource. Get my free audio gear guide. And if you want to take your music production journey to the next level, grab my Music Production 101 ebook. Just click the link in the description below. Okay guys, so we're going to dive into a session that I've worked on recently, and I just want to kind of talk to you about how I record vocals. So when it comes to the final lead vocal, I have great news for you. You don't have to settle for anything. You need to be stingy. You need to have high standards with your final lead vocal. In fact, did you know that you could literally take your lead vocal word by word and you can record it as many times as you need to get the vocals to sound the way that you want them to sound? So let's dive into my session real quick, and I just want to show you how I do this. Now, the way I'm describing it is not necessarily the best way to do it. I'm just telling you how I do it. I've watched a lot of guys on YouTube do vocals and edit vocals in a different way. There are some audio engineers and producers that prefer to literally record each phrase until they get it perfect, and they'll just keep recording that one phrase until they get perfect. But the way that I'm describing it here is I'm talking about recording an entire pass of the song and then recording another pass of the song and then going in there and picking and choosing after the fact. So in other words, you record take 1, you record take 2, you record take 3, and then you go in there and you literally go word by word and you pick and choose. Let me show you. Let's dive into the session and let me show you how I do this. Okay, so for example, if you look here on the session, I actually have a vocal track right here, and there's this option here on Pro Tools where I can click on playlists. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to change this to, I'm going to change it from waveform to playlists. And when I do that, you'll notice this WAV file right here. Well, this little chunk of a WAV file is where I re-recorded a line of the song. And that is what you can do. Now, I don't have a lot of these to show you right here, but basically with playlists on Pro Tools, you could go in and record as many different takes as you want to. And what you would do, let me show you. If I wanted to go with this take right here, I would basically just cut that right here, punch this arrow, and bam. Now on my main track right here, I have my new take that has replaced the previous take. So I do this a lot where I will record take 1, take 2, take 3, and I will literally go in there and take it word by word. And if I don't like something, I will do the playlist option and I will just insert the take that I would like to do. So anyway, guys, I hope you learned something today, and I hope this helped to show you a little bit of my process that I go through when I'm recording the final lead vocal. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe so you will be notified the next time I post. And as always, have a great day.